Welcome back to Science and Spirituality. Today's show is about holographic nature of the universe. We have just discussed the wholeness of our world, which, according to Dr. David Bohm, can be viewed as a grand hologram. But let us first review how a hologram picture is created. The basic idea behind Dr. Denis Gabor's invention of holography in 1948 was that in order for perfect optical imaging to take place, all the information has to be used, not just the intensity of the light waves as in regular photography, but also the phase of the waves. To make a hologram of an object, the coherent light of a laser beam is split into two beams. The first beam illuminates an object, while a second one is bounced off the object. The combined interference pattern of both beams is recorded by a photosensitive film or a plate. After the film is developed, it looks like a meaningless swirl of light and dark lines, but as soon as we illuminate the film with a laser beam, an amazing three-dimensional image of original object appears. The picture has a remarkable property in addition to 3D imaging. A hologram of an object can be cut into several pieces, and unlike normal photographs, where each piece would be a part of the puzzle, each piece of a hologram becomes a smaller, complete hologram itself. In other words, this smaller hologram contains the identical image and all the information of the full hologram. According to Dr. David Bohm, our universe is like a grand hologram, showing a whole in every part of itself. Applying the holographic universe idea to Dr. Aspey's experiment, one can look at separated objects in our physical world as pieces of the whole hologram. Physically, they are separated, but they show the same image of the entity. This wholeness can also be recognized by using an example of fish swimming in an aquarium, a model which inspired the thinking of Dr. Bohm. Let's say we have fish in an aquarium being filmed at the same time with two video cameras from two different angles. Each camera's output is displayed on two separate monitors. When watching the monitors simultaneously, it appears as if two different fish are moving in different directions. When one turns, the other also makes a turn at the same moment. Thus, it seems these two fish are communicating with each other, but what you actually see is the same fish. Now you probably can see why the separation of objects could be an illusion. Similarly, if our universe contains a deeper level of reality, all things in the universe could be interconnected, although in 3D physical space they appear separate. In a holographic world, space is no longer viewed as fundamental, as nothing is truly separate from anything else. The same applies to time in the reality of this super hologram. The past, present, and future can exist simultaneously and be spatially connected. This suggests that given the proper tools, it might be possible to reach into the implicit level of reality and pull out scenes from the long-forgotten past or from the future. This earthly super hologram could be like a matrix that has given birth to everything in our universe. At the very least, it contains every subatomic particle that has been or ever will be in any configuration of matter and energy that is possible. Indeed, back in 1920, Dr. Carl Lashley found that memories are not extinguished by drastic lesions or surgeries to the brain. Thus, memories must be dispersed through the brain. In 1960, Dr. Karl Pribram, an American neurophysiologist, had the insight that the human brain can be viewed as a hologram to explain how our memory functions. Additional evidence was found by Dr. Pilgrim as a result of collaboration with Dr. Baum. The scientists showed that the brain's visual cortex response looked like a mathematical Gabor function, a characteristic of holographic optical images. We know that the human brain stores about 10 billion bits of information over an average human lifetime, equivalent to 5 sets of Encyclopedia Britannica. Based on our holographic experience with optics, such an amount of information can be easily stored on holographic film in an area of 1 square centimeter. Thus, our brain has enormous potential information storage capacity for future use. We also have the incredible ability to retrieve information very fast. All of these features, capacity, speed, and efficiency of the brain's memory, and so on, become easier to understand if we assume the brain operates using holographic principles. This is because every piece of information would be infinitely cross-connected with other pieces of information. Dr. Pribram also believes that our brain constructs reality by relying on input from various frequency domains. The brain is able to translate the avalanche of frequencies it receives via the senses. For example, from the highest frequencies of visible light at about 10 to the power of 15 Hz, a million billion Hz, down to lowest frequencies of audible sound at about 20 Hz. Because the holography principle relies on wave interference, holography is the best tool for sorting out such frequencies and dividing them up to support conventional perception. It is no wonder that Dr. Pilgrim's theory has gained increasing support among neurophysiologists to explain the brain's memory function. In 1980, Argentinian researcher Hugo Zuccarelli extended the holographic idea to the world of acoustics by his invention of holophonics, the oral equivalent of visual holography. Mr. Zuccarelli believes that the human auditory system emits sound, which then serves as a reference sound that combines with incoming sound. The combination forms an interference pattern inside the ear. The nature of this pattern is sensitive to the direction of the incoming sound. Therefore, it can explain how the brain then interprets the sound data. It can also infer the direction of the incoming sound even without us moving our heads, and even if only one ear is listening. Finally, Dr. David Bohm extended Dr. Pilgrim's holographic brain idea and suggested that perhaps our brain is a smaller piece of the universal hologram. Thus, we may attain full knowledge of the universe. Each mind has a different limited perspective of the universal hologram based on our varied life experiences, but each outlook is valid, like looking at holographic film at various angles. Now, if our brain mathematically constructs objective reality by interpreting external frequencies, like collecting light into vessels as elaborated in the Judaic Kabbalah, then our world would ultimately be a projection of a deeper order of existence that is beyond both space and time. Whether the holographic paradigm of the world becomes accepted in science still remains to be seen, but it is safe to say it has already influenced the thinking of many scientists. Some believe it may solve some mysteries of our world, such as telepathy or paranormal phenomena. Thank you, holographic viewers, for watching this edition of Science and Spirituality. Words of Wisdom is up next, right after noteworthy news. Please join us again next week, and God bless.